Hey, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about a really important topic, which is when you have big dreams and no one gives a crap. So what I mean by that is maybe you have finally decided what your new purposeful direction is, or you finally decided that you do want to pursue a dream or a goal that's kind of been on the back burner for a really long time, and you are in a transition phase maybe. This might be in your career or your business or your life overall. And you finally summoned up the courage to put on your big girl pants and actually tell people about it. You're putting yourself out there and saying, this is what I really want. This is what I want to do, and it's important to me. And the response you get is just not supportive, or it's not helpful, or people just don't get it. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing my own personal experience of how this happened to me when I first moved to Australia, and how I overcame that, how I overcame the naysayers who told me my dreams were not going to be possible, to create a multi-passionate career of my design, including a part-time six-figure business. So that's what I want to share with you today, and I want to share some tips and strategies for what to do in response to naysayers, what to do in response to people who really don't get it, and how to ensure that that doesn't throw you off course so that you can still pursue the dreams that really ultimately you know deep down you are meant for. So starting with my story, so I've been in Australia about 4 years. I moved here with my Australian husband, and I moved here with big Australian dreams of working in coaching and development. So I'm going to share a little story, and there I was in yet another recruitment agent's office when I first arrived here. I'd been pounding the pavements for weeks trying to network because I was brand new to the city of Sydney, and I didn't know anyone, and no one could vouch for me in terms of a career perspective. I never worked here and didn't have any relationships. So there I was in the office of yet another recruitment agent who said yet again that what I wanted to do wasn't possible. So I come with these big Australian dreams of working in coaching and development. I just qualified as a brand new coach in the UK about a year beforehand. I'd had a taster of working in this space and running workshops and supporting others towards their goals in their careers, and I wanted to do more of it. So naturally, I decided I would simply get a job in learning and development in my new country. And all I kept hearing was, yeah, that's not possible. That's not what's going to happen. And there's no way you can get a role in coaching and development when your CV says marketing. It's just not the way things are done here. And I cannot tell you the effort and willpower it took to hold back tears of frustration, to wake up every single morning in my new country literally feeling sick because I had such a passion to want to contribute more, to do this work on a bigger level, to know that I was destined for this. It was my calling. I just knew in my heart of hearts I was supposed to help and empower others. And to not have anyone hear me, to not have anyone listen to me, and certainly to not have anyone want to help me. So my whole background had been in marketing. I'd spent the best part of 8 years up until that point in the corporate space. And what had led me into coaching in the first place was actually my own personal burnout. So a few years previously, I'd had what I now lovingly refer to as a quarter-life crisis, where through my own perfectionism, huge stress and pressure that I'd put on myself to do well, I basically burnt out and got seriously ill. And it was the most challenging part of my life up until that point, because it forced me to reevaluate everything. There I was in my dream job in the corporate world, in marketing, living in Geneva, Switzerland, and I was totally and utterly miserable. And I couldn't really wrap my head around that for quite some time. How I could be ticking all the boxes, be successful on paper, be achieving every goal that I'd set out to, and yet be really, really unhappy. And so that really prompted my first foray into personal development, a rather belated one in my mid-20s, where I finally, for the first time ever, actually understood myself and what was important to me, and what success meant to me, and what failure meant to me, and what purpose and passion actually means in my own career journey. And so after that reevaluation, I had decided I loved personal development so much that I qualified as a coach. I wanted to transform other people's lives for the better and have a positive impact on others in the way that these techniques had really supported me to finally feel a sense of choice and control in terms of how I responded to things when they didn't go my way. So when I moved to Australia, I was like, I just want to do more of this work. I want to help others. And I've got all this passion. I've got transferable skills and I've got a qualification. And yet, no one gave a crap. And all I kept hearing was, it'd be far more reasonable for you to just take a full-time role in marketing. This is what your CV says. This is what you know. Just make it easy for yourself. Get a foot in the door, and later on, maybe you can pursue these passions. And I just knew deep down, sinking feeling in the bottom of my stomach, that if I accepted that as my status quo, if I accepted that as the compromise, I would never reopen that drawer and take back out these dreams. I just knew it wouldn't happen because I'd get too comfortable. It would become too easy just working in a 9-to-5. And it was not an easy decision. I had come at a life stage and an age where I felt I really should have it all figured out by now. When my friends were getting promoted to director levels, where they were having families, settling down and buying properties, and I was kind of starting from scratch in a whole new country on the other side of the world, literally not knowing what I was doing with very little savings, and yet turning down really great, lucrative, full-time marketing opportunities that would have doubled the salary I had in the UK. So it was by no means an easy time for me, and actually every single morning for weeks I would wake up feeling physically sick because I just didn't know how to overcome these barriers and these blocks of people saying it's just not going to be possible. Now, if it hadn't been for this burning fire in my belly, this deep-seated desire and knowledge that I was meant for more than this, I was meant to do this work, then I probably would have given up and I would have accepted what other people were telling me to be possible and to be realistic. And thankfully, that burning fire in my belly was just not going to go away. And so it really helped me to find a way. And what I did instead was I considered, well, what are my alternatives? If no one else is going to hire me to do this work, if no one else is going to let me do this work, then I need to do it for myself. And the only way I could do it was to set up my own business. And I remember at the time telling my sister-in-law, I feel like a mechanic without a car to fix. Like I knew I could support and help other people, and no one was letting me do it. It was so frustrating. And I had never run my own business before. I literally didn't have a clue. And yet again, I was hearing things like, well, it's hard to do that in a brand new country. Are you sure you want to take that kind of a leap? Why don't you just make things easier for yourself? And so what I decided to do was, because it's not like I didn't like marketing. I actually really enjoyed my marketing role. And I liked being part of something bigger. I decided to negotiate a part-time marketing role in an organization that would allow me even just one precious day per week to pursue this passion of supporting others by running a coaching business. And that was like, oh, brilliant. Oh, like that is what I'm going to do. That's just genius. So I went back to the recruitment agents, marched in and said, no problem. I'm just going to go for a part-time marketing role instead. And guess what I was told then? I was told, that's just not the way it works around here. You're not going to get a part-time role in a decent organization, so you're not a blue chip organization if you're external. It's just not the way it's done around here. And equally, I was hearing, you're not going to have a successful and profitable business if you can't give it your full-time focus. And I just kept hearing all this crap, to be quite frank. And I could have chosen at that moment in time to believe them. I could have chosen to believe that it wasn't possible, it wasn't realistic, that I was kidding myself. But I stayed firm to what I believed in. I stayed true to myself. I just knew I would never regret seeing what was possible, because ultimately we don't regret the things we do. We only regret the things we don't do. Okay, that's so important to grasp. And fast forward to where I am today, I did manage to negotiate a part-time role in a amazing organization where I get to lead a team and I get to be in the city a few days a week. I get to be part of something bigger and create amazing work whilst pursuing my passion of having my own freedom-based business where I get to support women all over the world in their career and business next steps, whether that's in a corporate 9 to 5 or launching their own dream business off the back burner. And it's never been so rewarding for me in terms of where I am in my career right now. My business runs at very profitably. I have 6-figure business. I was told that wasn't going to be possible, and I'm really enjoying the corporate role as well. So I've genuinely been able to create a multi-passionate career of my design on my terms, despite what everyone else told me would or wouldn't be possible and feasible. And so firstly, I just want to tell you that whatever your dreams are, if they are important to you, if you know there's something in them, if you've got that burning fire in your belly or wherever it is you feel those emotions, then you must follow that. You must pursue it. You must listen to it, because that is your heart and your intuition and your gut and your instinct telling you what's for you. And we don't always get the glimpses of that clarity and feeling drawn towards that bigger sense of purpose. Some people spend their whole lives searching for what is my passion. If you know that there is something in these dreams and goals, then you absolutely owe it to yourself to follow your heart with regards to that. And I love to say, follow your butterflies. You're not going to know all the steps. We never know all the steps. You're not going to have all the answers and all the guarantees. We have to start before we're ready. But the number one thing is to listen to you, to tune into you and to listen to your heart. Because what might have happened is that you've put some ideas out there, some thoughts out there of doing something a little bit differently, a little bit left field. And those around you who, with all the best intent in the world, don't get it. And when we listen to them, we are allowing them to project onto us their limited beliefs of what is really possible, their limited success stories that they've created for themselves. And there's no judgment here, okay? Everyone is in their own path and their own journey. But what it really comes down to when someone else is telling you, oh, I'm not sure that's such a great idea, or I'm not sure that's possible or realistic, is they're projecting onto you what they believe is possible for them in terms of their own success and dreams and goals. And we just need to lovingly release that and show compassion towards them, because, as I said, everyone's on their own journey in terms of self-awareness and awareness as to what is really possible when we strive outside of our comfort zones. But it doesn't mean that we need to accept that story for us. We don't need to take that on board. We get to decide what our success story is going to look like. We get to rewrite the rules for our success, because nothing that I did had previously been done. I was the first person in my company to get a job share for reasons other than having children. Who would have thought it would be possible to negotiate a part-time flexible role as a complete foreigner and outsider to a whole new country? Who would have thought it'd be possible to create a 6-figure business in a part-time capacity? I've been able to be the living proof that it is always possible if you 100% know in your heart of hearts what it is you want. Now, if you are surrounded by people that you don't really feel get it, that you feel are not really supportive, that are not championing you in the way that you'd like, rather than just give up and accept what they're saying and push your dreams to the side, this is your opportunity to seek out like-minded women who do get it. And there are plenty of them out there. Other women who are stretching outside of their comfort zones, who want to make changes and are committed to making changes and finding a way to make their dreams and goals happen. Now, that might be joining my Facebook group or a similar Facebook group. Mine is Empowered Career Women Connect and Inspire, and really feeling that you're part of a collective of other women who are on the same wavelength, who are playing at a higher energy level, who are searching for possibilities and expanding their horizons in terms of what could be, as opposed to playing small and playing safe, which is always going to be the easiest thing to do. All of us want certainty. All of us, fear change to one extent or another. It's just how we're wired. But when we have that sense of drive and passion and motivation and purpose, nothing can stand in our way. Honestly, nothing can stand in your way. And when you can be surrounded by others who get it and who are playing at a higher level, when you can surround yourself with those who lift you higher, as Oprah says so beautifully, then honestly, everything will change for you, because you will feel so supported, you'll feel so inspired and connected. Equally, that can be reaching out to a coach or a mentor to support you, someone else who's where you want to be and are living proof that it's possible to get there in terms of their own transformation. I have a mastermind which is exactly for this purpose. It's designed to bring together like-minded women who are looking for their something more and who are committed to making those changes, even when it feels scary, even when we don't have the guarantees, because guess what? We never do. And my masterminders, they say, it's like being part of a family, and they've bonded so beautifully, and they hold each other accountable to what they say they're going to do, because they believe in each other as well as themselves. And there is nothing more infectious than a group of women who are on a mission to change their lives for the better and to create success on their terms. So what I really wanted to say to you today was, you don't have to take on board other people's beliefs and stories about what is or isn't possible for you. We can lovingly release that. We can show compassion that they unfortunately don't feel that's possible for them in terms of expanding their horizons, and maybe they will get there at another point in time. But right now, we just need to stay true to ourselves. You get to decide what is possible for you. You get to decide what dreams are worth pursuing. You get to put yourself out there and understand just what is possible for you, and recognize that by putting yourself out there, by pursuing this passion, you might just get everything you ever wanted. And how great would that be? And what is the worst that could happen if you just gave it a go and tried? And start to consider, who does it make sense for you to reach out to? Who do you want to be surrounded by in terms of that energy and enthusiasm and that go-getter drive, to help you play bigger, to help you play on another level? And what does that support look like for you personally? Is that a group program, a mastermind, a coach, a mentor, being part of a Facebook group, being part of a networking group? There's so many resources out there now, and so many groups specifically for women as well to empower you on that path. So that's really what I wanted to share today. If it's possible for me to come to a whole new country with no networks, no clue, no experience running my own business, and be able to achieve what I have, then it's absolutely 100% possible for you too. And I would love to be able to support you in any way that I can personally. Please do reach out. And I would also love to hear your comments and your thoughts. What's come up for you as I've shared this today? Where do you resonate? What have you managed to overcome despite others around you saying it wasn't possible? Because all of this is inspiration for others too. So I hope that has given you a few insights today. And as I said, would love to hear your feedback.